Hello. Today you're getting comfy, Travis. It's cold and my cats insist on having a window open. But that's fine. Today our objective is to get the warrior menu up and going. Get the ability for the player to go talk to the warrior and hire warriors. Should probably come up with different names. Like this isn't a you're not talking to the warrior. You're talking to I don't know the booker, the merc captain, whatever. But yeah, talk to this person and hire them. As you can see right now, kind of have this idea of a food cost. Like you give the warriors food, and for that food, they will go and fight monsters for you. There's a little bit about that I'm not crazy about. We're going to expand this and just have a little conversation here. Oh, look at that. That almost worked. We're doing it live. It's fine. I'm not video editing any of this because why would I waste my time on that? But anyway, let's talk a little bit about the design intent of this game. Because there's a lot to talk about, really. So, excuse me, still a little sick. This game is meant to be basically Stardew Valley meets tower defense, like Dungeon Defenders, a really good example. And so you have these two phases. I'm a big believer that good games should have this almost like ping pong, this back and forth between your two game modes. Think about your JRPGs, like the old Final Fantasy games, or Dragon Quest, or even games like Paper Mario, right? Like you have the overworld in which you go questing, you go talk to people, you go to the item shops. It's where your exploration loop happens. It's where your preparation loop happens, and then you have the other part of the game. You have the combat, and the way you interact with the game is totally different, and the way you're thinking about what you're doing is very different, and that kind of keeps the game feeling fresh and helps you have more control over pacing, which is a whole other conversation. So that's why we're going with this Stardew Valley to tower defense thing. And Stardew Valley and Harvest Moon and those farming sims, they don't have just two modes, of course. Like take Stardew Valley, for instance, you have let me go farm. Farming's its own thing. Let me go build out my farm. That's its own thing. Let me go talk to people and give gifts and build these relationships and see these stories. That's its own thing. Let me go to the mines and fight monsters. That's its own thing. So it has multiple things, kinds of gameplay. And Stardew Valley, part of its success is the fact that you don't change a lot about how you interact. Visually, it looks the same. You still have the same view. You're still pushing the same buttons for all your verbs. It's very consistent throughout. And that's a big part of why it's able to do so many different things and seem like it's just one big cohesive game. It's that consistency. So with Dr. Farmer, I've decided that I don't want the player to be involved directly with the monster raids, which is difficult because you want the player to be able to see that their preparation for the monster raids are playing out. And just the concept of seeing warriors fight a bunch of monsters, that's interesting. Even though this isn't a game that's about combat, this isn't a game that's about the action, that's something you're going to want to see. So we're left to the question of like, okay, well, in this kind of third-person game where you're on the ground, kind of very intimately involved with what's happening on the farm, how do you get the player to bear witness to the events of the monster raids, to bear witness to the consequences of their actions without them being directly involved in it. You can't just make your player invulnerable. That's not going to feel good. That's going to feel silly, and it's actually going to create a bigger disconnect. So I'm not crazy about that. So I'm, in the back of my head, I'm playing with this idea of, as night falls and the monsters start to move and they start to become active, the warriors actually come in and say, okay, player, it's getting dangerous. You have to go. We'll take care of your farm now. And it doesn't sound like it feels good at first, but Stardew Valley and Harvest Moon do the exact same thing, except maybe with less affordance. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. When it gets to be, I think it's like 2 a.m., your character just spontaneously passes out. You could be on your farm at your doorstep, but because you didn't get to your bed and go to sleep before 2 a.m., you pass out and you lose money, and that sucks. Nobody has experienced that. But like, oh yeah, I felt good. I felt right. No. Like, passed out in the mountains, fine. But anyone can stay up past 2 a.m. Like, if you really need to stay up past 2 a.m., you can. And yes. Sorry, my toasted marshmallow. Let me introduce you to Dottie. I come here, little one. Herb. She is demanding attention. Hello, little one. So, anyone who's been in college, especially, right, knows that staying up past 2 a.m. isn't hard. I mean, it can be hard, but like, you're not going to spontaneously pass out in a dangerous situation. You're being a good girl right now. Is this all you wanted? No, it's a lie. Okay. But now at least we have an affordance. We have the warriors who are like, hey, the monsters who are very clear and very present, they are on your farm. You can't fight those. That's what we're for. That's the entire point of this entire mechanic, this entire game. You can't fight those monsters. You have to fight me. Or I have to fight them. Cool. So there's an affordance. But how does the player... I still haven't answered the question of how does the player observe the consequences of their actions. So, I'm thinking that the farm itself isn't necessarily where the player lives. So Stardew Valley separates the farm from the town. So I'm thinking maybe the farm is separated from the house. But maybe the house is in a tower, right? Hey, there are monsters about. You need to be somewhere that's safe. So if I do that, then like all the houses will have to be like in towers, or I'll have to have some other explanation for like how are these people safe from the monsters that just freely roam at night. But a farm tower, sure. And then you, the player, can decide: am I going to go to bed and just let things play out, or am I going to step and watch? And providing that option immediately to me provides an opportunity to make that decision interesting for the player. I don't have to. I can just say, yep, if you go to bed, you just skip the battle. You don't have to watch it. You'll just wake up the next morning and get the battle results, which is kind of what already happens now. Or I can say, yeah, sure, let's make this interesting. If you go to bed and skip the battle, it auto-generates the battle, and the consequences are whatever you expect them to be. But if you stay up, you don't have as much energy for the next day. You have lower stamina because you stayed up all night watching the battle. So because you made that cost there should be a reward, or at least a potential for a reward, that... Can you hear that? That's William. That's William, by the way. He's a sweet boy, but the other two cats don't like him. What do you want, little man? But there should be a potential for reward. I'm sorry. Hold on a second. I've got to put an end to this. Okay, anyway. Need a reward. So, when you think about rewards, you got to think about what the player cares about. And broadly speaking, yes, they care about the things that make gameplay, like help them achieve the gameplay objective, which in this case could be things like getting more seeds, getting more plots of soil, maybe getting tools that allow them to grow their food faster, maybe just getting straight up medicine out of it. But I think that might be too direct, and you'd also have to think about, why does staying up late afford me those rewards? And so I'm not crazy about that as rewards. You gotta think about other rewards. Other maybe things are less direct. So this is where we pivot from the tower defense part towards the farming sim part. So a big part of Harvest Moon and Stardew Valley's success is the social element. It's getting to know the townspeople, getting building these bonds and watching these individual stories progress. And it's just text. So the more we can marry, and the Persona series does a good job of this, marrying what happens in the social side with what happens in combat, and the decisions you make in one affecting the consequences of the other. The more we can do that, the more cohesive and better the game's going to feel. So, I think what I might play with is staying up late is a way you build a social bond with the warrior commander, or maybe the village chief, or just maybe multiple characters. Maybe this is the only opportunity you have to build a bond with those characters, to have conversations with them. Stay up late with these toughest nobles warriors. Get a little bit of lore, get a little bit of world building. And so you get this reward for doing this thing that comes at a heavy cost. Like, you're losing stamina for the next day. You're losing your ability to invest in the thing that progresses the game. So the reward has to be significant. And I think this is a way to achieve that. So, all of that to say, my objective today is to get down to the talk to the warrior commander, hire warriors. So backing up, right now I have this concept of growing food and giving the warriors food for their services, which is very traditional. That's, at the end of the day, what every soldier since the dawn of time has killed for. It's like, hey, yes, I will go kill that guy over there so me and my family can eat. Swart's a little different. We're not fighting other people, we're fighting monsters. And you're not a warrior commander, you're not a king, you're just some dude with a farm. But you're also the doctor, Dr. Farmer. So, instead of growing food, I'm thinking that every time you heal someone, you give medicine to someone who is sick or injured, you're rewarded with a currency. And I think I'm just going to call that currency reputation. It's something that everyone can understand. Everyone knows what reputation is. It makes sense that the more you benefit somebody, the better your reputation is going to be. And the more someone has to help you out instead, this is bothering me, the more someone else has to help you out instead, I'm not going to say that worsens your reputation, but it comes at a cost. Like, there's a small reputation cost there. So, I think it's a good enough affordance, and it makes sense why certain things will cost you reputation, where money wouldn't make a lot of sense, and food especially wouldn't necessarily make a lot of sense. So, the loop. You plant seeds to grow crops. These crops produce plants that can be used to make medicine. Medicine's used to heal sick and injured. You heal the sick and injured to gain reputation. Reputation is spent to hire warriors to protect your crops. Reputation is spent to other things, probably buy seeds, right? Like buy seeds, maybe buy more plots of land. Trying to keep this simple for now. For the MVP, I'm never going to do the tower. For the MVP, there's not even going to be an actual battle with AI. I shouldn't say MVP, the core loop. For the core loop, it's literally just going to be talk to warrior, hire dudes. It's just a number. Yep, I have 4 warriors. If 4 monsters attack, those 4 monsters are dead. The end. So, I will restart this video once I have that up and running. Are we recording? Good, yes, okay, cool, great. Just hopping back in real quick to show the progress that we have going on here. So you can see I did a little bit of cleanup on the base HUD. We no longer have the time of day overlapping with our inventory. An inventory which, of course, I am going to move to a pause menu. Just not today. That is a much further down the road thing. Won't take long, but it's just one of those why bother right now. We got more important things to concern ourselves with. So, we walk to this warrior. I need to put like a border or something behind that text, or make it the same kind of text you see with the other NPCs. I need to have a consistent display for dialogue. But anyway, you can see we got reputation, cost to hire, just to hire and exit here. You press the button, you've you've reduced your reputation. You can see in the top right hand corner of your screen, you can see in the center of the screen. I am repeating information on screen. This is something that I have mixed feelings about. Broadly speaking, though, I'm fine with it. If there's something you need your player to know, tell them. Give them as few opportunities to miss that information as possible. If that means I have to repeat information, then I will repeat information. Ideally, in the good version of this, you won't have all that extra HUD, right? You'll just have the dialogue. Have fewer distractions for your player to contend with. But, if we hire a bunch of warriors and we try to hire more, they're like, come on, man, you can't keep doing this. And then we exit. Also, let me see if I can find, do I have any stuff? I do. Let's go to some medicine, antiseptic, and I've got 3 more reputation now. So now healing people gives you reputation. Hiring warriors takes reputation away. So I'm going to pause again, step back, and I'm going to implement the warriors. Hello, we're back again. So everything is set up. Basically what we're going to see is when we go to hire somebody from our warrior here, warriors are going to spawn in front of this warrior spawn point. Now, something I'm running into. So this is our little menu for hiring warriors. You can see how much reputation we have, cost to hire, warriors on field, hire and exit, great, fine. What we are experiencing, this is a bad way to do this. I'm just grabbing a battle manager. Anyway. What we're experiencing is that the first 1 to 3 warriors we hire, they get spawned to the field just fine until they stop. So what I suspect is happening is this guy right here isn't always returning valid. I don't know. Because I'm not saving a reference, I'm just like getting a new reference every time. I think weird things are happening. But let's find out. So, hire, knowing, okay, so my breakpoint didn't trigger. And input mode game only, I wish it would tell me where. But I'm not having input issues. That's unrelated. Okay, so let's do this. Oh, my breakpoint didn't trigger because I turned it off. I also didn't get a character to spawn. It's super strange. Alright, so we click this, we hire, spawn warrior, so we know we're getting to this point. Step into, spawn warrior. Is that valid? Looks valid. Up, everything is there. Spawn enabled true. That's something that matters. So we're going to spawn warrior. Step into. Spawn enabled. Yep. Hero type. So we have a hero that we're spawning. I should really check save output's valid. Alright, cool. But I'm not seeing a warrior. Interesting. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. When this warrior gets spawned here, we're going to do a number of things. Append. We're first going to say class. It's this guy. This is just the display name of the class. That's me in spawn, just to make sure that it's valid. And then we're going to say coordinates. Let's do the next line there. Coordinates. And this should be the same. But just in case it's not, we're going to do this. We're going to say actual location. We're going to say the coordinates. We're going to put location here. And we're going to say get. And this will just tell me if we're spawning like under the map or anything like that. Please move. Thank you. And let's set this to a duration that I can like actually look at it and read and think for a moment. Pretty sure we turned off our breakpoint. We did. Cool. And let's see what we see. I lied. I did not turn off our breakpoint. Okay. Anyway. Oh, actually, okay, so we're actually spawning this at the origin, which is really bizarre. And yeah, see, so I have control. So here's what I'm going to do. I think F8, well, I pressed F9, but I think F8 is, oh, I can't do it, but then that's in pi. Damn. Okay, so we're gonna, hello. Oh, my warriors are not valid. Attempted access. Finish spawning act. Interesting. So I'm just failing to spawn. Why? Hero type, warrior fighter. Spawn warrior. Why are you failing to spawn? What is wrong? You get to see a little bit of debugging. Where's my... Go away. Don't need you anymore. Warrior spawner. That's what we need. Yeah, okay, so this is the warrior spawner. So what I'm doing is I'm just getting its location, get its forward vector. Our forward vector returns a value between -1 and 1. 1's in front, -1's behind, for each of these coordinates. So, now, I'm sure you understand coordinates. And I'm just getting that, and I'm multiplying that value by 25 and 1,000. So basically I'm saying, okay, let's just say I'm facing forward, and for the x value between 25 and 1,000 units away, it's going to pick a point. And then for the y value, it's going to be to my right, 25 and 1,000 units over there. If I wanted to do all around me, I would just say, -25 to positive 1,000, or -1,000 to positive 1,000. That would get me to full forward or full 360 axis. But I'm not terribly interested. I just wanted some randomness. So we're not changing my rotation. We're not changing scale. These are just the direction. Now, spawn an actor of this class. I don't know why this isn't returning valid. That is just really strange to me. So we're going to take a look at this data. Yeah, wow, it just did not finish spawning the actor of this type. So I'm going to have to look into the C++ code and see what I have done wrong. It's just like, oh, it's not valid. Cool, thanks. I don't know why you... It's just an actor. Just a very... What if we changed this to... I mean, I don't like this. I don't even think this will work. Hello. My cursor's disappeared. Hello? Can't get my text either. Anyway, Warrior Fighter. BP Warrior Fighter, I don't, yeah. This shouldn't change anything. Might be a byproduct of having... Well, it's actually spawning places now. Sometimes. That's super bizarre. This is so strange to me. What is going on? The first 3 didn't spawn, but the last 2 did? What would cause that? I'll be right back with an answer. So that took no time. It has nothing to do with this. It's kind of obvious when you think about it. So, this guy is trying to spawn in these locations just without any care about where, right? And I had its default handling override to, default. So instead we're going to say try to adjust location but don't always spawn. And you will see what was happening. Now I'll give you a hint. I was not robust in my... There we go, and looky. A couple things happened. One, I had characters colliding over themselves and each other. And 2, sometimes they were frequently actually colliding with some of these objects in the world that don't like other actors colliding with them. So this is something I'm going to test for. Basically, I'll just say get location. Just basically get if there's a colliding actor in that area, and if there is, I adjust the location myself, because I don't want to adjust on the z-axis. Yeah, I'm sure there's a nice clean way to check for collision on spawn, but this first pass isn't about doing things the clean way, it's about doing it's about just getting it on the stick. So, let us hire a warrior who's it's kind of popped it down there. It's kind of funny. And we're going to go ahead and plant some crops real quick. I need something I want to do visually is the arrows, fine. But I want to kind of fill the arrow with a different color or effect. Whoops. As I hold down the interact button, just to show that this is a hole to interact and kind of get some feedback on interaction. Alright, anyway, so we have those planted. Let us go to bed. Warriors fought the monsters in their life. All your plants are safe. Lovely. So, my one warrior, still persistent, still over there. Should have spawned a monster. Oh, you know what? The monsters are running the same spawn code. There we go. Yeah, 2 monsters have spawned. Alright, so 2 monsters have spawned. I have 1 warrior, so I should lose 1 plant. And no, I haven't tested this. You're seeing this live. Oh, see, look, I did something wrong. Alright, let's find out what I did wrong, and I'll be back. I think I know what the answer is. I think it's because I've outsmarted myself. Alright, so the way this works is when you have a warrior on the field, just go put one on there. It is going to subtract the number of monsters that exist. There were no monsters. There was a warrior. There's now -1 monsters. Every day, you spawn a number of monsters equal to the number of monsters remaining, plus the number of days that have passed. -1 plus 2 is 1. So I should have a monster now, but I don't. Oh, first day does the count, so it's always -1, so it should be 0. Right, okay. So this time, we're at -1 again, but we should have 1 monster spawning. Boom. Okay. So we're always going to be, because I have this warrior here, because I've allowed for a negative number. Did I hire 2 warriors? I guess I did. Did I really hire 2? I did not. Why do I have 2 warriors in the field? See, I have all kinds of fun little bugs. Let's go to sleep. I have 2 warriors, 2 monsters. Oh, my warriors are also replicating. Anyway, that's that. My warriors are replicating. And they shouldn't be. Why are my warriors replicating? Monster spawner, spawn monsters. Okay. That's good. Event graph. How often does this get called? To my knowledge, this only gets called when I hire a hire one. Great. This is exactly what I needed. Exit. I'll just use a gamepad. It's fine. Alright, so we're gonna go to bed. Go to sleep. Shouldn't be higher. Shouldn't create more. Yep, nothing's been created. Fantastic. Go to sleep. I shouldn't, but I will, spawn a new warrior. I did not. I'm so confused. There's only one of you, buddy. There's only one of you. How are you fighting off everything? 3 monsters remain. This is tomorrow's problem. In my devlog tomorrow, we will discover what the hell I've done wrong and what the hell we're going to do about it.